Hey, Damashe.
Hey, Mike. Look, I came in and it was like, you're in a meeting hosted by Michael Babcock with zero participants. I was like, dang, Mike didn't get my message. You just left. It's like, I'm out of here, man. I'm not doing this today.
That's how it goes, you know. No, I'm playing with Audio Hijack, which is always fun.
Audio hijack.
Yeah, did you know? Ooh, turn voiceover volume way down. There we go. Did you know that you cannot? So I want to set up a compressor to see how this sounds because we're trying to implement some compression into some of the streams that we're doing. But did you know that if you have your headphones as an input your headphones as an input to the recorder block, and then the recorder as an input to the compressor block, you cannot, Audio Hijack is smart enough to not let you make your headphones be the output of the compressor block.
Yeah. Wait a minute. So why are we doing it that way?
Because I wanted to hear what the compression sounds like. And before I realized you know how it goes. When you're setting up Audio Hijack, you set up a chain that makes sense. But then, when you don't look at it for a year and a half, you're like, what did I do here? Why did I do it that way? So I had to go through and start cutting some wires and re-implementing more wires, etc. So almost got it.
How did I get on that list? Apparently, I'm getting information about Blast in Orlando.
Why?
If anybody wants to pass along information about Blast in Orlando or whether or not I should make an attempt to attend this year, you can reach out to us. We'll tell you how to do that later on in the show.
If you don't forget.
Yeah, if I don't forget. I guess because I'm registered as a vendor with the different organizations, NFB and ACB, so that I'm assuming that is where that email came from.
Have you played with compression at all in Audio Hijack?
I have, not in a while, and I think they may have actually made some changes. I definitely remember seeing some accessibility improvement.
There are two of you right now.
No, there should not be two of me.
Why are there two of you? That's weird.
Oh man, because you turned on a session and you're listening through your headphones.
Hold on. What? The input? Oh man. Okay. I need to stop messing with Audio Hijack while you're recording, because I got a message that says the input is blah 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 is not connected to your Mac. Like, what do you mean that's not? And then I forgot that I changed the name of that since set up this session a while ago, and there were two of you because I had two headphone blocks on the session.
Oh well, that'll do it for sure.
It sure will.
So there's a info tab on your sessions. And I'm saying this to you, but I'm going to also start doing this when I build sessions. There's a notes field. You can write in notes like, hey, this is what I was doing when I did this. So at least when you go back to it later, you're like, what is this? How does this work?
Why was I doing that?
There's a note that I left myself that said, I set this up to do X, Y, Z, and this was what I was thinking when this happened. I think that's handy. I kind of forget that that's there. It is also where you can rename your session very easily because it's just a text field with the name.
Zoom.
Connections. Oh, that's where it snaps them together manually. I mean, automatically versus manually. I really like manual connections. Those are awesome. Listen, this is when you need notes and Audio Hijack. Seriously, though, is when you do a session that is just manual connections and you're manually connecting things to other things, because it won't make any sense when you it'll say, well, I'm not going to say it won't make any sense. You will save yourself a lot of time if you have a note to refer to that says, hey, I wired this up to this and that to that and those two things back to the same thing because this is what I was trying to do. The reason that there's a block over there in the negative coordinates of this session is because at the last minute I threw in Clubhouse.
Oh, that is way too much compression. Oh, yeah.
You don't want too much.
Too much compression can... Wow. That was a lot of compression. Let's see what I have it set to. I don't know if you can manually set it. I think you have to use their presets. Maybe you can. Let's see. I'm going to go to simple compressor, and Yep, it was set to radio. One of the people I work with, he goes, I think radio was a little too much when I used it in Audio Hijack. I completely agree with that. All right, I'm going to switch it over to voice. Now say something.
Voice.
Yeah.
What is voice? Voice is more for the spoken word, probably like a podcast or maybe a live poetry reading. Could be something like that. That's what I'll start doing. I'll just start live streaming poetry. Just read random poems like Robert Frost.
There is a gentleman.
Or I'll just start reading Shakespeare on a live stream. How about that?
So there's a gentleman. He has a similar voice profile to you. Hold on. Okay. Sorry, I had to fix that. I should probably make sure I wasn't broadcasting. Fun times. Yes, the block is off. Okay. So there's a gentleman who has a similar voice profile to you, and he gets on Clubhouse and he just reads the Bible. And people go listen to it.
I mean, no judgment whatsoever, but I would imagine you would have to be also the type of person that just wants to listen to the Bible.
Well, yeah, I suppose that too, but man, compression does a lot. Is there a advanced compression block? See, I'm going to probably mess with this the entire episode, just warning you.
Okay. Well, as long as it's not, what you use to edit, we're fine.
Nope, because for listeners who did not know, you can have multiple sessions running in Audio Hijack, and that is amazing. Until it's not, and you're wondering, why am I coming out of all these places?
It's like, wait, what did I... Well, that's my hard drive. Oh, there was another session in the background over there running that was recording, and I forgot to turn it off. It's been running for 2 days and 48 minutes. Which happened except my hard drive did not get full. But I did leave the session running from the last time we recorded, Mike, which would have been, was that Friday of last week?
Yeah, Friday of last week, yep.
Yeah.
Have you done anything with scripting?
I discovered it on Tuesday. So, yeah. I did on a different Mac, and I have not messed with it since. It actually was back when I was playing with bunches. And setting up when I had the basic pieces of a recording bunch set up, so that when I ran the bunch, it would open Audio Hijack to that. And this was back when we were streaming to Clubhouse, and I think we had a Shoutcast, Icecast, one of those servers set up. So it was back then. And I had a bunch that when I would launch it, I had scripted Audio Hijack to launch into that particular session and started. And I think the one reason that I stopped using it was because I had not quite figured out how to, or if it was possible to have that session start in the state that I wanted it to start in, which was certain blocks would be off. Because me and you would connect and make sure sound was good and all of that before I would flip the switch to start streaming, and then that would take people off of listening to whatever random, completely legal music that I was playing to the live stream listeners, and we would start recording or start streaming rather. And I don't think I figured out at the time if it was even possible to do that because there was no LLM to ask. And of course, I was too lazy. Listen, is more trouble, honestly, because you can talk to the LLM a little easier than sending an email that you think you ought to compose reasonably coherently to the folks at Rogue Amoeba to be like, hey, listen, I'm trying to do this. This is why I want to do this. Can this be done? Can you help me out, please? As opposed to, how do I write a script that does this in Audio Hijack? And then the thing just says, here's how you do that.
It's already done.
And then you run it, and then you're like, that didn't work. It's like, oh, you're absolutely right. That can't be done, actually, in Audio Hijack in the current version. Which has not happened, but, that's a thing that would happen. Talking to a friend of the show, well, a friend of ours, because I don't know if Marlon listens. I was talking to Marlon
either
the other day, and he mentioned to me about using ChatGPT and Gemini.
Marlon with AI really makes me nervous. Just saying. Like you, Marlon, if you listen, but
so he's doing something really interesting. He's using What is Gemini's video thing? Google's video thing. Veo, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's
not Sora. It's Gemini's version of Sora.
Yeah. He's using that to generate like 8 seconds, because I think that's the max length they'll do a video clip is 8 seconds. But he's using that to generate several 8-second clips and then merging them together in Keynote for presentations. And I was like, man, I did not have that idea. That is pretty cool. But we had a conversation about the LLMs in general and how they cannot be trusted. It's just a tool. It is not thinking. It's not doing anything but just, trying to be helpful. And he's like, yeah, I've had it generate entire people that did not exist with a whole background and everything. You're like, wait, where did this guy come from? He did what? Wait, that's not a real person. And I'm always reminded of the first time I tested out features of the Meta Ray-Bans. And I took a photo of a bag of chips. Actually, it was a bag of pretzel bites. And mind you, I knew they were pretzel bites, just not which flavor they was. And that's important because I was expecting to get a, brand and flavor. I got a product that I actually had to go Google because I was like, man, that ain't what I got, but it actually sounds good. Let me go see. That product doesn't exist at all. Just completely made up a chip. That if I, had a connection with somebody at Frito-Lay or something, I probably would have given them the idea. Like, man, you guys should really get on working on trying to make this chip because I want to buy it right now. And
right.
Like, if I literally had that bag in my hand that it just described, like, I probably would have ate it. Actually, I would have ate it. Hands down, I would have ate that. I don't even remember what it was now, so I'm sorry. Somebody's going to ask and no, I don't remember. And I don't think I can go back into my Meta conversation history and find out what it was either because that was a while ago. And I've switched accounts since then. See, I have a strategy. I switch Meta accounts every 2 months just to keep them on their toes so they can't build a profile. No, I'm kidding.
That sounds like entirely way too much work.
It not be that hard to work with an LLM nowadays, but yeah, no, I'm not doing that. I am using a completely separate account from my actual Facebook account to sign in for the Meta frames or Meta glasses, though. That is a real thing.
That's whoa, hold on.
Mike has compressed himself out of existence.
I compressed myself after running it through a block called, what is this? Speech denoise. So it was taking all the noise out, but it was really bringing up the voice. All right, I'm done messing with Audio Hijack now because I'm afraid I'm gonna break something or something. And I'm glad I created a random test session. But yeah.
That's worth doing for anybody using Audio Hijack. What Mike has just done while we're recording this show is actually a thing that I have done quite a bit, and I haven't done it in a while, but it's, set up an input for your microphone and put your headphones on as the output, and then just randomly move blocks in and out to like see what the compression sounds like, see what the noise removal sounds like, see how you can adjust it. If you have any of these plugins from audio plugin developers like Isotope or Waves, or,
I forgot that those showed up in there.
Those will also show up there, so you can, be able to kind of play around with those a little bit. And the interface is slightly different, at least from what I see in Reaper with those, because I played with some of the Isotope stuff. There was a point in time, and I would never do this for a backup recording or a recording that is meant to be I'm going to use this to edit a show recording, which is recorded with any compression or stuff like that built in, only because you don't have the ability to fix it after the fact. If you build it in,
yes.
You apply those effects as you're editing the audio, unless you're really good at what you're doing, or, you get it dialed in to a point that you can reliably just use that. There are a few podcasts that I listen to here and off and on that do that because they go more for the live to
hard drive.
Yeah. Audio. So Mac Geek Gab is one of those where like any effects or whatever applied or done there because they just want to do very light editing and then publish the show. Twit, I think, is recorded in that way with effects already in, so they're not having to apply effects to everything after the fact. But they also spend a lot of time dialing in a person's audio in their profile for compression and EQ before they, just jump out there with it. So if you want to do that, you can do that. Just be aware, one, you can't take it off after the fact. So you probably want to spend a lot more time dialing it in for the environment in which you're recording. And if you're constantly switching recording environments, just apply the compression and stuff after the fact. But yeah, test out stuff on Audio Hijack. It's fun. You get an idea of how things work and where things can be useful sometimes in cases where you wouldn't think they could be. For example, compression or the audio boost.
And
me and Mike, for some reason, were coming in low over something, and I would just drop the block in instead of us adjusting our audio over here. I just dropped the block in and boosted the audio that was getting streamed out, so everybody sounded the same level or something like that. I did something like that.
Yeah, I remember that. And when we were playing with those Soundcraft signatures, I think we used audio boost a lot.
That was the hack of all hacks.
Yeah.
Start an Audio Hijack session, pulling from the channel that you want on the Soundcraft.
Boost up your audio.
And boost the audio and then route it through a virtual device and then set that as your input everywhere. Yeah, that was the hack of all hacks, man.
Oh. When are you going to get your Soundcraft out?
Though. Man, I'm just thinking about it right now as you were like, let me turn down VoiceOver, and I was like, oh man, Mike just grabbed a slider, and I had to sit over here and hold out like 17 buttons to adjust VoiceOver.
I wish I grabbed a slider.
Oh, well. I don't know what you're doing with your life. Like, what are you doing?
I mean, I'm still recording in the kitchen.
Oh, okay. So Mike does not. See, this is where a small modular control surface would be extraordinarily handy.
Keep talking about something else.
Man, I'm just saying, man.
So,
it'd be a business expense.
Allison at Podfeet, I heard that, shared a recording from one of her listeners about a Stream Deck alternative app that turns an old iPhone or iPad into a Stream Deck, and you can use your mobile device and trigger actions, shortcuts, and different automations to happen. I did not download the app, but it made me think about it. I do like the physical push buttonness, and I think that's probably why I would not use this app. But for someone who can see even a little bit, it might be worth it to explore.
Yeah, I can see that being super useful for a person with vision, with the iPhone or with the iPad, or being able to control things. And there are several apps out there that will connect to different audio interfaces as well that run on the iPad or the iPhone, or that you can hook up, via tools like VOSC. VOSC, I think that's the right way to say that. But there's different apps out there that have been out there. And as Mike said, like the first thought I had, because I have not listened to that episode, but I did see the episode published, and part of the description that was in the notification, I was like, wouldn't you know it? I go buy a thing. Now I didn't realize it was software. It was just, a Stream Deck alternative. Yeah. And I was like,
for $26.
Wouldn't you know, as soon as I actually buy one after all these years, and here's a Stream Deck and Allison's talking about it, so it must be cool as hell. But I did not see in the I didn't read I didn't get that far in the description to see that it was a software thing. And I like the push buttons. Like, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I believe one thing that steered me away from the Stream Deck initially, even just buying one to try it out with the, expectation of possibly returning it, is that I believe the first couple of iterations had sections for buttons, but the buttons weren't push buttons. They were still touchscreen, if that makes sense.
See, and I think I know exactly what you're talking about, because I thought that was the case, but after actually getting one and doing a little bit more research, I think what it was the buttons had little logos that were on them. And so if you were reading about it, it would imply that they were touch buttons, but they were actually physical buttons, because you could change the logo that's displayed. I think I could be wrong. Don't know. all of the visual aspect of
does
it means nothing to me.
That does make sense though, because the reason I had the thought that is exactly what you just said, because people were talking about, oh, when I have it in this profile for podcasting, there's a little logo of a microphone there.
So I just touched the microphone when actually you're pushing the microphone
but
button.
You're pushing the button, right? So that could be, actually, I'm going to have to do some research on the one that I bought and see if I can change the logos on the buttons, because that whatever. But mine has physical buttons that you can feel. They're tactile. You can press them. And the knobs, knobs that you can twist or push. You can also push the knobs.
Have you pulled it out of the box yet, Damashe?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I took it completely out of the box because I was like, I don't even know what this thing looks. Oh, that's kind of handy.
Now, have you connected to anything? Okay.
For two reasons. Number one, I got to sit down with Claude and work on that as a project to kind of figure out how to, configure it. And I did not want to do it on the computer that I'm talking to you through right now because I knew I was going to have to erase it. So I've been trying to minimize the amount of new stuff that I put here.
That's the time to do it before you erase it. Screw everything up on that computer because you know you're going to erase it.
Yeah, good point. Good point. That is, well, what I mean is, like, I was trying to minimize, like, what if I get something, I didn't want to put it on here and be like, oh, I did this thing, and yada, 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 but I have now copied. Nope. I am not going to tell stories to my listeners. I am about to copy the last couple of things that I downloaded on this computer, because I happen to be on this computer, to my hard drive, and then I'll be ready to wipe it. So at that point, I will delete certain things off of here so that they don't get borked up because of syncing. And I will probably try that before I put it in the box. Shahzad, I have called Apple. I have a box that arrived today.
Wow, I was expecting it tomorrow.
So, this is going in the box. And it will be out of here next week, going back to Apple to be repaired. And I finished the setup more quickly than I wanted to, but that box showed up today and I was like, all right, well, let me finish getting this Mac. So I have, I was going to record from the air today. And the only reason I did not is because I was on a call and I was talking, and then I realized what time it was. And I had literally just looked at the time and was like, oh man, it's 9:04. And then Mike calls me. I was like, let me text Mike and tell him I'm coming, because I really lost track of time.
Well, I was going to text you, but then I saw you were in Do Not Disturb. And I'm like, I think I can break through, but I'll just try calling him.
Yeah, you could, because it went to my podcast focus. Because of the calendar thing. I was like, oh man, it's back there charging up and I haven't plugged it in and made sure that everything works. So I'll just keep using the computer that's already plugged into the interface and all of that. So task accomplished, Shahzad. I will get this MacBook Pro fixed. And I also took a second step and called Apple again today and have my iPad Mini 6. I have a box coming for it to get shipped off so they can figure out what is wrong with it.
Okay. What's going on with your iPad Mini 6?
So I initially was going to just try to send it to Apple to get the battery replaced because it's horrible.
Yeah.
But I had the beta on this over the summer and throughout the, first part of iPad OS 26 being out or whatever. And I was like, all right, I want to start using this for work because I tried Tia's iPad and it's just a little too big. She got the 12.9 iPad Pro. I want to say it's the first one that had the M2 chip in it, iPad Pro. So that's a little big to carry around and to be useful. Like, it's not just the size, but it's also, if I put a case on it, it's going to be super bulky, even bulkier than what it is. But you don't want to just carry the naked tablet around because it's big and you drop it and now it's cracked. So it's like, all right, my ideas kind of worked or would work with the iPad, but I'll take the Mini. So I was going to use my Mini. So I said, let me erase it, erase all content, set it back up, get off the beta train, and steal my pencil back from one of these kids and see if this works. Have a person that is working today write on the iPad. And then that way that gets transcribed into text that I can then read. So I don't have to depend on them to do the transcription later, which never happens. And so I was going to wipe it just to do some quick testing with it and then still try to get the battery replaced. And well, I've gotten stuck in a loop to where I cannot get iOS completely installed. And well, it's installed. First, I couldn't even get it to install right. Now it's finally installed, but I cannot get past the setup process because it always gets stuck somewhere along that series of screens. Setting it up from scratch, brand new, no restore, gets stuck on the login screen for the, Apple ID. I type that in, and it just spins, whatever the little message says, like connecting or whatever, but it never gets off of that screen. Restoring from a backup is like, oh, we keep your, phone nearby. And then when it's done, it's like, okay, we're downloading your stuff. You can continue the setup process. And then it gets stuck somewhere along that chain. One time I got stuck on the privacy screen where it's like, these are privacy features and blah, blah, blah. And then hit continue. Nope, never could get past continue.
But you have Apple Care 1 on it. So you're like, why not?
I have Apple Care 1 on it specifically because I thought I was going to have to get the battery fixed anyway, but that Apple Care 1 came in handy because they're just going to send me a box. Now, if it's determined that it suffered some physical damage, because there's a dent in the back casing, I don't know where that dent came from. And I legitimately mean this. It could have been there when I ordered it from Amazon. I told the guy, the Apple rep that I was talking to today, that because he asked, like, is there any physical damage, any dents, dings, or anything? I said, there is a dent on the back casing. I said, but I legitimately can't. I said, I bought this as refurbished or renewed from Amazon about 1.5 years ago or so. Maybe 2 years ago now, actually. It's probably how long it's been. But I said, I legitimately don't know if it was there when I bought it or if it happened after the fact. But to my knowledge, that hasn't had any effect on the performance of it. I said the battery degradation has just happened over time. So he said, well, we'll put it in. I'll put in, it doesn't have any damage. And if they get it and they determine that that dent has something to do with the functionality of it or is severe enough that it needs to be repaired, then they'll reach out to you and tell you so. And you can decide if you want to pay for whatever the damage cost is going to be, or if you just want them to send it back to you the way it came to them. It's like, cool. So that means I don't have to spend any money today and we're good.
So how much do they charge you for damage? Do you know? Or does it just depend on what needs to be replaced? Because I thought there was some sort of flat rate, or maybe that's just for screens.
I think it's I believe it's still going to be a flat rate. It's just whether or not I have to pay it. So I had to pay $99 for a screen because I know something's wrong with the screen in the MacBook Pro. So I paid that up front. But there's, the only issue that I could highlight to him is that it's stuck in this loop of not being able to install. And I've tried all the different permutations because he asked me, and I was like, yep, I did that. I did that too. Tried restoring from backup, tried syncing from iPhone, tried setting up from scratch. I completely reinstalled the firmware, like put it in DFV mode and reinstalled the firmware. I even went so far as to go to the developer site and go to downloads and download the release version of 26, which would have been 26.2 at the time that I did it, and installed it that way. And I keep getting stuck. He's like, oh, okay, well,
you've tried things before. You've tried a lot of things. I was on a meeting. I can't talk much more about the meeting itself, but I was on a meeting this morning, and someone made the comment.
He was talking to Elon Musk, man. He's got a deal going with Tesla.
No, I mean, Tesla, if you're listening.
We've got the robots coming into the house. You just can't talk about them. I'm telling you, Mike. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, Mike.
So someone introduced me as Michael, and they're like, and he is our... And then they just stopped for a second and then said, resident expert screen reader user. And I unmuted. I'm like, yeah, I was just waiting to see what my title was today. but then we were working on some testing of some stuff. And then I used what I don't find, I made a comment about how I hit insert dash to route my virtual PC cursor or my JAWS cursor to the virtual PC cursor. Yeah. Yep. And another person on the meeting goes, you are an advanced screen reader. I'm like, that's not advanced screen reading skills. But then I have to remember that a lot of people just use the arrow keys and tab.
Yep. It's all hey, Sean says it's all you need, man. It's arrow keys and tab.
So,
it's all on a continuum, right? Like, I would be surprised if you didn't know that shortcut, right? Like that keystroke. But for me, like that is just kind of general knowledge, because there are times when you're doing things on your computer where the only way to activate this thing is to move the mouse cursor to click it. Otherwise, you'll never get to where you're trying to get to.
Fun fact. I did learn a keystroke recently, like in the last, I would say, 2 months or so. Control JAWS key enter forces your mouse to do the hover over. So for example, if you're in WordPress and you have a caching plugin installed and you have to hover your mouse over the word caching to get the clear cache.
Menu to drop down.
Yep. JAWS key insert enter will, JAWS key control enter will make your mouse hover over, and that menu 100% of the time pops up.
Huh.
So
good to know. Yeah. I similarly use the voiceover command. Now, what I've always done in those scenarios is just move the mouse cursor to wherever my cursor is, whether it's voiceover or JAWS or NVDA, and that still seems to accomplish the same deal.
Yeah.
Also, just a tip for people. I don't know if JAWS has this now or not, but VoiceOver most certainly has it, and it can be irritating, and it will drive you insane, and you will think that your computer is broken. You're navigating on a website. Let's say Amazon, but it's not the only one, but we'll go with Amazon because I think that's a fair baseline for everybody. If you're on a Mac, and you're navigating through Amazon and you're constantly getting stuff popping up on you all the time, like, oh, you're trying to read some of the comments and a thing pops up that says, how helpful is it? Just random stuff is popping up for no reason. And you're always fighting to get through the site. Go to your VoiceOver
Utility.
Yeah, I had to open it for it to say what it was.
Yep. Hit Command 4.
And you want to go down, Command 4. And what you want to turn off. And I would almost advise you to just always turn this off, because you can always move your mouse when you need to move it. Mouse pointer, what does it do? Ignores voiceover cursor, follows voiceover cursor, or moves voiceover cursor.
That last one makes me a little nervous. I don't.
Yeah, no, you don't. So I'm going to give you an example of where that can be useful. I've never used it on a Mac, but I have used it with NVDA before. But you want to.
You fixed it. Go ahead, finish, and then I'll tell you what you fixed.
Well, of course I fixed it, man. I told you how to fix it.
Yeah, I had that set to the middle option. Oh, that's amazing. So I had it set to follow voiceover cursor.
Yeah, see, you don't want to do that because it screws with stuff, because there's so much of and here's why this is current to me right at the moment, because it wasn't an Amazon issue. It was actually a Mac OS thing. Because so much of your interface now is hidden behind mouse hovers. And because I'm a keyboard driven user, I don't need stuff popping up at me randomly. And this was happening, and I just happened to be in voiceover settings in utility one day, and I saw that the setting had gotten changed. Now, periodically, if stuff is being weird, go check this, because it will change back for some reason during an update. So what you want your setting to be is the mouse ignores the voiceover cursor.
Yes.
Because whenever there's weird stuff happening, or I feel like the mouse is interfering somewhere, I can put my finger on my trackpad and swipe to the edge, and that takes the mouse right out of the picture. And then I can navigate normally. If I need the mouse to click or hover to make a thing drop down for me that's not going to show up the normal way, you just use VO command F5, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Yep. Now, I have a shortcut set up to be right option key Z to move my mouse cursor to where my voiceover cursor is. But that solves a lot of problems, because there's so much interface, and Amazon is the first place I noticed this, which is also why I started with them as a baseline. But so much of the current Mac OS is, this could be true of previous versions too, but I know for certain what are we in? It's not Mojave. That is not the right one. 26, Mac OS 26. That's what we're going to go with, because I don't remember what it's called. Tahoe. That's it. Tahoe. A lot of the interface for non-screen reader users, or non-keyboard driven users, for mouse users, is hidden behind hover state, right? So you hover your mouse over this text element in the toolbar and then things pop out that you can click on, right? And that's not how you want to use your computer. I don't think that's a good way to use a computer anyway. But who am I? I'm not Alan Dye, and I don't run design at Apple. I'm also not the new guy that has to try to hear everybody from outside tell them how to fix it now. But that's a problem. So ignore your mouse cursor. And generally, this will be my advice for a primarily screen reader user that is going to use the keyboard, is any screen reader, disable the mouse tracking where your screen reader cursor is, because you're going to get stuff hovering, and when stuff hovers, it pops up, and then now you're trapped inside of this thing that you can't get rid of until you figure out how to dismiss it, and then you navigate a little bit more, and boom, something else pops up, and it gets to just be this constant mouse trap. So that is my advice. Now, to address that middle option there, whatever that option is, where the mouse cursor moves the VoiceOver cursor.
Yes.
This can be useful. I have not used this in VoiceOver. I did use this on Windows at one point with NVDA. I deliberately turned that setting on, and I got NVDA's cursor close enough to the part of the screen down near the taskbar where I knew I needed to be, but things were not functioning the way they needed to. But what happened is I moved that mouse, because it was an actual physical mouse that I had to hold. I moved it by small increments, and this took a very long time. But it would read whenever it came across text or element on the screen that, NVDA could read. And that allowed me to click something that I could otherwise not get to with normal screen reader commands. I'm assuming that VoiceOver work. Well, actually, I can't tell you the VoiceOver does work the same way, because I did turn that on one time to see if it worked. But I just didn't need to use it. So what that does is that when you move your mouse, that will move the VoiceOver cursor. The upside to this is if you find yourself in one of those situations where if VoiceOver will read a thing, you just can't get to it without actually physically putting the mouse cursor there, that works. If you have a sighted person using your computer, but they still have VoiceOver on, or I wonder if this would probably work with like RIM or something too. If you got an IRA agent moving your mouse around, you can hear what they clicked on to get to the things. So next time, maybe you know how to get there. That could be useful for that type of situation. The reason you want to not have that on all the time, because the trackpad is huge on a laptop. And if you're typing on a laptop keyboard, you're going to brush it with your palm, and it's going to move your mouse, and then it's going to move VoiceOver to an entirely different app. And now you're typing your 1Password into a text message and sending it to people, and you don't even realize you did it.
Yep. And then they reply, "What?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing."
And then you're like, "Man, I got to go change my password now."
Yeah.
And the sad thing is I'm not going to remember it the next time I have to type it in, probably in 2 days on the phone. I'm not going to remember what the password is. Then I'm going to be locked out of my 1Password account. This is awesome. No, turn it off. But there's some features that hopefully will help you. Now, Mike, what did I actually fix?
My menus. The menu bar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet that's what fixed mine too, actually.
Yep. Because that has been bothering me again, and it would make sense why it just randomly happened. But yeah, my menus are working just perfectly fine now. And it was driving me crazy earlier today, because what it would do, for listeners who don't know, is it would, instead of you hitting VOM to go up to the menu bar, and you hearing Apple, and then you can right arrow, Safari, File, Edit, View, History, it would actually put you inside the Apple menu, and it would just say Apple. And then if you right arrowed, it would say Safari. But that's not fully accurate either, because it was very sluggish navigating the menu. And yeah, this is amazing.
Sometimes it would actually have you in a state to where your VoiceOver was interacted with the name or with the item within the menu, so you couldn't just navigate normally. Yeah, it was. And that's actually what fixed it. So I sent Mike a message. I was like, "Hey, I fixed the problem with the menus." Now, this was on the MacBook Air, so this feature was, when I imported my settings, it was off, because that's how it should be. And so I thought I had fixed the menus by checking and unchecking another box, or unchecking it and checking a box again or something. I was like, oh, I fixed it, Mike. And then I come back to the MacBook Pro and like it's not fixed. And I was like, oh, let me go change this setting. It's like, nope, that still didn't fix it. Like, what did I don't understand.
And then you even told me, you're like, never mind, maybe I didn't fix it or something.
Yep, that's what happened. And I was like, oh, okay, I know what I probably should do. Maybe I should reset it to defaults and then import the settings again and then do that thing. And I just never got around to doing that because I'm like, well, I'm going to wipe this computer anyway. I don't care. But then I came in here and like I said, I noticed one day that it was following the mouse, VoiceOver, the mouse cursor was following VoiceOver. And I was like, I don't want that on. Why did I get on? Turn that off. Didn't put two and two together at the moment that's what fixed my menus because they're also fixed on the MacBook Pro too, which is freaking amazing. Because it's just not a proper world if I can't press VOM and then press the first letter of the menu that I want to get to and then be able to do stuff there.
So we solved the world's problems.
Oh man, that's exactly what I was about to say. It's exactly what I was about to say.
Show's over. Have a good one.
Oh. All right, man. We were done. We're wrapping it up. Show's over forever.
Before we wrap it up, though,
we have fixed all the problems.
We need to give a shout out to someone who actually said we can.
I did not forget. I said I did not forget.
Okay. So,
but since Mike brought it up, so we want to shout out a tip jar supporter who gave us a one-time tip. And let me open the email so I make sure, because I'm not going to guess from there. Christopher Sims gave us a one-time tip. We appreciate it, Christopher. And I really appreciate the tip because, again, you spent your money. So thank you very much for that. But I also really appreciate the fact that you followed directions. Like, if you wanted us to shout you out, you gave us permission to shout you out and use your name. So thank you very much.
And he gave us his email to verify
that he was actually a tip jar subscriber. So he just wasn't like, oh, I'm going to get me a free shout out on the show.
Now, I did not cross-reference this email.
Listen, I didn't either, but this is not the first time that Chris has emailed us.
Well, Chris asked us. He was the one who asked. I'm sorry, they. I'm not 100% sure if it's a he or, because we know female Chris is too.
Christopher.
Oh, okay. So Christopher asked if a one-time donation could be made or a one-time tip jar could be made. So,
yeah, I think Chris emailed us about something else before too, if I'm remembering correctly. And if I was, really on top of my game, I would just search right now. But I'm not going to do it. Thanks, Chris. We appreciate it. And again, I really appreciate he did the thing. They did the thing the whole way. They gave us a tip, which is awesome. They used a one-time tip because, hey, that's what they were comfortable with at that time. No pressure. We appreciate it. And then they wanted their shout out on the show for doing it. Or they were okay with getting a shout out on the show. I'm not going to say like, you must shout me out. That's not how the email came across. She's like, hey, I just made a one-time tip, but you can use my name.
Feel free to shout me out.
Yeah, that's what it said. So it was a demand, but they were okay with being shouted out, but they let us know that they were okay with being shouted out by giving us their name, saying it was okay to use it. And then the further step, which I really didn't expect anybody to do, which was, hey, I used this email that I'm sending from, which is this address right here, to do the tip, just so you can verify that. So good deal. Appreciate it. And thanks for listening, Chris. Like, I did reply to Chris's email too, and I told him, like, listen, I appreciate you being a listener. Thanks for the tip, but more importantly, thanks for listening, because that's what we like everybody to do. Whether you can, give us a subscribe to the tip jar, or give us a one-time tip. The most important thing you can do for us is give us your ears for an hour or so each week as we talk about different topics. And the next thing you could do is send us feedback. If you have feedback, questions, thoughts, opinions, we take all of them. We read all of them. We read all of your email. I guarantee it.
I even read them now.
I was going to say, even Mike reads them now because he signed it to the email. That's the other reason I also did not make a mad dash to try to get the air set up, because I don't think it would have taken all that much, but I don't have email set up on there yet for any account. So The first issue was going to be I can't get into the Zoom, but then I did get Fantastical set up. I was like, okay, well now I have the Zoom link. I was like, crap, I don't have email, and I got to shout out Christopher because he gave us a tip. So we appreciate it. The other thing that you can do for us is tell a friend about the show if you think they're interested. And listen, even if you happen to be one of those occasional listeners that checks in and you're like, nope, still not for me, or nope, don't want to hear about that thing today. If you have listened to enough of the show to be like, I know somebody that might be interested in this show, though, just tell them, drop them a link to it. Like, hey, you should check this podcast out. And we're in all the places that you can be for a podcast. Well, even except YouTube. Netflix. We're not on Netflix.
Yeah, that's a thing now.
That's a thing now. But here's the thing. Well, see, I was about to say, we're not on Netflix, and they have not offered us any money to be on Netflix, because I think that's the only way you get to be on Netflix. So they have to come ask you. They have not asked us. If they did ask me, I'm going to want to check. For a couple of reasons. Number one, because we have expenses. Number two, because I'm not a super fan of Netflix, and they keep raising their prices, and I'm the one paying them some kind of way. And the third thing is sometimes their interface can be really horrendous, and I feel awful that somebody that might want to listen to our show will have to navigate that terrible interface and listen to our show in Netflix. So yeah, give me a check.
Yeah, and tell us if you listen to podcasts on Netflix, because I just know. No. That's worse than YouTube. And you know what? Now that I've said that, Andy Frank's going to come on and say, you know what, Michael? Netflix is the next biggest directory of podcasts.
Next big growth area for podcasting. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's the next thing. But we are in Spotify. We're on YouTube. And we're in all of your other podcast directories. Netflix, I do think, is just, at least at this point, they're kind of doing what Spotify did originally, where first it was shows that they paid people to come to Spotify first. Then you could go to Spotify and request that they add your show, and you give them a feed, and they did some stuff. And we still didn't do it at that time, even when it was kind of open for everybody to do it, because I didn't personally like what they were doing at the point in time with your show when you gave them your feed. I think they have since adjusted that. I actually hadn't checked. I'm not going to say I've gotten to a point that I don't care, because I do care. But I think it's more important to try to reach people where they may be listening to the show at, which is also why we're on YouTube. Because again, I don't think you should listen to an audio only show on YouTube. But if that's what you choose to do, I'm not going to pass any judgment. Shout out to Amanda, was the person that told me they actually listen to stuff on YouTube,
Taylor does
including our show. Taylor said it to me first. She's the first person, but Taylor's of a younger generation, so like I kind of expect them to do
different things than what you're used to.
Yes. Yeah, like but for someone of my generation,
careful.
No, I'm just gonna say it like that, because me and Amanda are very close in age.
Yeah.
So someone of my generation, who has been a podcast listener for years, like they're not new to podcasting. If you're new to podcasting, and again, I'm not even gonna, be derisive towards younger people, because for a lot of them, they were on YouTube and then they got introduced to podcasts when podcasts were the next big thing in the world. Even though we've been doing it for like 10, 15 years at this point. But they're new. And then they were on YouTube. It makes sense how you get there, right? From a person who got there because they were on YouTube and their podcast got introduced to them on YouTube. That makes sense. For a person of my generation, and I would even say Mike's generation, that have been using things like, I don't know, Apple's podcast app, go back to syncing podcasts from iTunes to an iPod or something, or use Downcast, any of these standalone apps over the years. It is a little different to listen to your shows on YouTube, but I'm not judging. I put my show there because I want people to listen to it wherever they are comfortable listening to us. I want you to have it. So legitimately, if Netflix opens it up and says, hey, all you have to do is give us an RSS feed, and they're not doing anything too jacked up to my feed, or to the listeners of my feed, we will put the show in there. Spotify, the issue with them initially was I think they were running ads against their stuff, and we were not getting any of that revenue. I say because my memory is telling me that Mike was kind of okay with just doing it in the first place, and I was like, man, hell no.
Sounds about right. Yep.
Which is funny because I was thinking about Mike today, and I was like, if OpenClaw, as it's called now, started out as Claude Bot, CLAWD bot, and then it was called Moltbot for about 30 minutes. Actually, it was called Moltbot for just long enough for just about every weekly podcast I listened to record an episode about Moltbot, and then it changes its name again to OpenClaw. But if that would have been out 3 years ago or more, Mike just would have installed it on his computer.
Yep. Would have ran with it and maybe told you about it. Maybe
you told me about it because it'd be cool. You told me about it, or you'd be like, "I've been using this for a while." Like you may not have told me instantly when you did it, but you'd have told me about it eventually because you're like, "Oh man, it does all this stuff." I'm like, Mike, did you do the security thing with the thing over here that just came out?
No, I've been like, nope. I just installed it on my raw computer. You would have been like, Mike, I have all your banking passwords now. I just asked ChatGPT for it.
Like, Mike, hold on, I'm going to send you an email right quick. Okay, so look, here's what I got after I initially sent you an email and told CloudBot not to tell you about it, which was to have it pull all of your stuff out of 1Password while it was unlocked. Here's what it gave me.
Yeah, I think you've rubbed off a little bit on me.
I was like, it's interesting the influences that happen over time, though. Because I was like, Mike totally would have just installed it on his computer, like just boom, just running away with it. I don't know. I feel like there was a whole bunch of other stuff we had, but we have turned this into a show doing what we normally do, which is we figured out how to solve a problem that we did not realize needed solving for everybody, but we have solved it for you. If you're a VoiceOver user, do this. And if you are using JAWS, you have some little keystrokes that maybe you didn't know about. I didn't know about them. And if I ever get Windows up and running somewhere reasonable on a standalone computer, I might install JAWS on it to see how it works. My laptop doesn't talk when it comes on. I'm confused. Actually, so I'm not going to say I'm confused. I don't know what to do. But I'm going to ask Mike since we're on the show right now because it might also help somebody else if he has an answer. So it comes on, like it's actually powering up. It charged up and it came on. But it's not talking at the lock screen. And it should because that's how I configured the screen reader.
Does Control Windows Enter get it to talk?
See, I didn't try that. Control Windows, because I always forget what the shortcut is for
Control Windows Enter. If it doesn't talk, then my guess is somehow you muted it.
Oh man, okay. I will try that. And it's not it's in reach, but it's got a bunch of stuff on top of it. So I will try that and tell you if it worked or not. See, I always forget the shortcut for narrator. I know narrator is a thing. I always remember it, but I never remember the shortcut. Control Windows Enter.
So
I'm gonna put it into Doist. Press Control Windows Enter.
Before we wrap it up and you share with people how they can follow us on Mastodon, we took some clips from last week's show.
Man, I'm on Blue Sky now. What are you talking about?
What? No, I forgot my Blue Sky login. It's not in 1Password. Because I went to connect it to Buffer. Because I'm like, I'm just posting in one place. So my goal this weekend is to get Buffer and Blue Sky and LinkedIn reconnected to my Buffer or Facebook, because I am now monetizing my Facebook account, which means absolutely nothing because I haven't really posted anything on there, but they let me monetize it and people can give me stars with my reels. And I guess I make like half a penny or something for each star I get. I don't know. Anyways, so we took clips.
Sounds too much for it to be meta, man. I feel like you might get like a 10th of them.
I fed ChatGPT a transcript of the show. No, I fed Claude.
It was ChatGPT?
It was Claude. Okay. A transcript of the show and said, give me some points where I should cut the show and share these on social media. And it gave me some points. I went and edited near those, and ChatGPT always was off on those times. Like it could never actually give me accurate times for what it told me that I was clipping out. But Claude was fairly accurate, off by about 3 or 4 seconds. But I clipped those and they were about a minute long or so. And then I rendered recorded the audio at a Reaper as MP3 files. Then I sent those MP3 files to Claude, and it generated videos, I think just with waveforms, and then gave me an entire marketing plan that I did not fully follow. But I will tell you that the episode we published on Mondays had 140 downloads, which is maybe average, maybe not, but the next recent episode is 161. So we'll watch that over the next couple of weeks, and I'm going to try marketing with my accounts, and whatever the bot picks up, it can, because we're going to work on some bot creativity in the near future. But this is, we went into 2026 with the spoken between us, possibly spoken on the show intention of actually putting some energy and effort behind marketing it. And we've been tracking numbers. We've got 21 subscribers on YouTube, which sounds horrible when you say it, but we've done zero marketing of the YouTube channel. So definitely there's some growth opportunities, and my intention is to start with intention behind marketing the show a little bit.
I think we did speak about this actually on the show, but if we didn't, then now Mike has spoken about it. I'm going to give people 2 updates, actually. Well, 3. So I'm going to start with what Mike hinted at, which I think we did. Well, we did talk about it on last week's show.
We did. That was
I have the server. I got the server. I have not yet installed CloudBot. It was my plan had I not gotten on the phone call that I was on, because I literally was on the phone for like 2 hours and I didn't realize it. But my plan was to come out here and sit down and get CloudBot installed on the server, and then our bonus content today was going to be me hooking it up to the bot and starting it to posting. That's what was going to happen. But then I ended up on the phone and didn't get out here to sit down until I looked at my phone, because it's like, wait a minute, man, what time is it? And I was like, oh crap, it's 9:04. Because in my mind, I'm like, oh, it's like 8 o'clock. I might not be able to get the whole bot installed or whatever. Maybe that'll be the content. It's just me getting CloudBot set up, set up on the server. Maybe that'll be I looked at the time. I was like, oh crap, I'm late. So that didn't happen, but we will have that up by the time we'll have that up the next time you hear us. Yeah. It'll be live. We may or may not talk about it in that episode, just depending, but we'll have it live. What are we going to do about that? We got to talk about that scheduling thing with this episode.
I have some ideas, so we'll talk about that when we wrap up the show.
So there's that part right there. So the bot will be running amok. I tried to give Mike the login to the bot so he could do the marketing plan from the bot himself, but he just decided he's going to, build his own personal social media empire. He didn't care about the bot, so it's okay.
But maybe I'll take the login, and then everyone will think ClawBot is our open is marketing.
Well, see, I didn't. That was kind of the intent, but also no. So seriously, all jokes aside, for people seriously, because we do try to share our thought processes here, and as we're doing this marketing thing, like we're gonna be transparent as Mike is being about it. The reason I actually did suggest that he use the bot account to post is because I didn't want him to start flooding his personal followers with too much stuff about his show, because I don't think that's what Mike generally posts.
Nope, it's not.
And that was the whole purpose of building a bot anyway, so we're not constantly just shoving, because for me at least, Mike is a lot more active on Mastodon than I am. I'm sometimes active. Most of the time I'm posting stuff that I find interesting. I think people should be somewhat aware of for some reason. It's never meant to be political. It may come across like that, but it's not really meant to be political. It's more or less, here are some factual things that are happening. Never mind the person's slant on it from the article. Like, these are factual things that I feel people should be aware of. So I'm not trying to be very political about it. It's just facts are facts. And I also made a point of posting something that was, very critical of the Democrats about something that they did or didn't do. I can't remember now, but, it's more informational, because I read a lot of stuff where I'm like, I cannot believe this, but I also don't know the facts well enough to be like, well, everything about this article is true, so I should post it. It's like, nah, this could also be the framing this person is choosing to use in this instance. I don't think I'm going to post that to people, because that gets more political opinionated versus, hey, here's a fact. Like, facts are ICE is snatching people off the street. Like, here's the thing that you should know about that. Versus yada, 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 so-and-so did this and they're a terrible person. I can't believe people are allowing this to happen type of bullcrap. Anyway, moving on to the purpose of all of that rambling. Because Mike is more active and engages, I didn't want him overflooding his people with just posting stuff about his content is the purpose of the bot. For me, I do sometimes log in or open up Mona, and then I'll get caught in a loop, and then you will see me repost other people's stuff and maybe comment here and there to a thing or two, but mostly reposting other people's stuff that I found humorous or enlightening or sometimes just joyful, because it was a weird thing about I can't remember that joke Mike posted. I laughed about it for like 2 days.
Is the bot in 1Password?
The bot is not in 1Password, but I can move it to that share vault, which is all I was going to do anyway.
Yeah, you should do that, because now that you bring this up, I'm like, it makes a lot more sense to post to have a strategy behind the bot to post, and then some of those posts can get reposted to my Mastodon, but then I can be more engaging with my Mastodon as well. So I can connect it to, because I'm using Buffer right now, so I can connect the bot to my Buffer and then schedule posts throughout there. Man, poor bot's going to get connected to ClaudeBot or OpenClaw and Buffer and...
And there's a title, connected the bot to my Buffer. Second update, the website, we are stalled. And we're stalled for a couple of reasons. Number one, I really want to try to build more of the features in that I want with AI. And I had to go down the pathway of like, I need to get the skills fixed up. So I've been working on that. I've been working on it. I'm also working on a ton of other stuff in the background because I got a whole AI vending thing I'm trying to do, and training a new employee, which is about to come to an abrupt end because they're about to get fired, but maybe that's an after show. But site will be coming. Like I ain't forgot about it. It's slightly stressing me out that I don't have it up yet. But life, that thing called life and business keeps happening. And I can't devote the focus time to it that I would like to. Got too many jobs is what it is. I need to retire from one of them. Maybe vending. Yeah. All right, state. You ain't getting your check. The third thing I want to tell people goes back to our YouTube channel. So I mentioned this to Mike the other day, but I'm going to update Mike about it as I'm telling you about it. So Mike has mentioned and even given us audio demonstrations of the DJI mic 2.
Wireless, DJI wireless. I'm looking it up.
I was going to say, I didn't tell him.
DJI Mic 2 dual wireless transmission system.
There we go.
Oh man, that's come down in price. Huh. It's $199 at Sweetwater.
Huh. That's yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah. Is this when you got the DJ? Oh, maybe I should have said. The Mic Mini?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I picked up the DJI Mic Mini. Now, what I bought is, well, first I bought the DJI Mic Mini with the 2 transmitters and the 1 receiver, and it was $59. It was on sale for $59 and some change. Call it $60 at Amazon. And I bought that, and I got it, and I didn't tell Mike I bought that until I got it, and I was going to test it out, and I did that. And then I decided to send it back and buy the DJI Mic Mini for $80 from Amazon because it came with a charging case to recharge all of the pieces. So I still got the 2 transmitters. Mike's going to correct me if I say one of these wrong because I always get these mixed up no matter what I do. And then the one receiver. So both mics can pair to this one receiver, and then you connect that over USB to a device, over USB-C to a device, or using a audio cable if you have a camera. And I presume that this would also work with other devices, like maybe the input to a Zoom recorder or something. using the 3.5 millimeter cable. All of these cables and stuff are included. You get the 2 mics, you get the transmitter, you get 2 magnets so that you can clip it onto your clothing or something. With the magnet on the inside of your clothing and the mic on the outside, I presume is how they intend on you to do it. Because I don't like free advertising for people, I might try flipping it around the other way and see if it still works. Because, DJI ain't give me nothing and they ain't paying me. One reason I picked this up is because it was on sale. Not just because it was on sale. I picked it up because it was on sale. One reason I was interested in this because mics, 2 little wireless DJI mics, sound pretty decent. And they're wireless. And you can use them in situations where you're not going to have a interface along with you and a microphone and a boom arm and all of this stuff. These, unlike the ones that Mike have, because Mike has the Pro Line series, so his does a little bit more stuff. They don't have a touchscreen. This is just all kind of knobs and stuff. There's no audible way to know that they're paired other than listening through your headphones to whatever you connect them to, and you can hear yourself or hear the person talking, and you know they're connected. One of the reasons I switched from the $60 case or $60 pack, which gave me everything that this has except for the charging cases, because with the charging case, when you take the items out of the charging case, they automatically pair the 2 transmitters to the receiver. So that takes that potential issue out of the mix right away. So I take out the transmitter, I take out the receiver, and they're going to come on and they're going to automatically link up. So now all I have to do is connect the transmitter, connect the receiver to, say, my iPhone. And then now I'm ready to record audio. And have that go into some good video. Because I'm going to put the phone on what is that thing called?
A gimbal.
Yeah, it's a gimbal, but it's a specific one. It's the it's the Insta Flow Pro 2, I think.
I don't like that name.
I don't like that name either. It's probably not exactly the right name of it, the exact name of it. But if you look up that term I just said, you will find the thing that I'm looking for, which I'm going to do right now so I can actually give people the right name, because that does not sound right. Helium. Oh, I got to give people an update on that right quick too. Insta 360. All right, let's see what it's actually called. Okay, it's the Insta 360. Oh, I was almost right. It's the Flow 2 Pro. So I wasn't that far off. The Insta 360 Flow 2 Pro. There's a different version of this, the Flow Pro, which is the first version of this thing. But I have the Flow 2 Pro. One cool thing about this is that it works with Apple's Dock Kit, is what I think it's called.
Yep.
So you just connect it to your phone and it's paired. Like, just, you don't have to do any weird stuff. You just attach your phone to it, like, because it has a magnet, and you just attach the phone to it, and then it's using MagSafe, and it automatically pairs to your phone. It will work in the regular camera app or any other camera app that you like. The Insta360 app is kind of crappy. I would say that you can navigate it well enough to do what you need to do, like to run updates to your device and things like that, but I don't use it to try to record any content. If you have better luck, great. I just tend to avoid it unless I need to check to see if there's updates to the device. But what this will do is it makes it easy for it to track you. So I'm doing video content, doing a little bit of video content right now. I'm kind of doing some very bare bones stuff of making sure that, like, this system that I put together works and I can reproduce it consistently. But there will be more video content, which means at some point we're going to have video content from probably shorts, because, shorts, they're a thing. Apparently people like them. But we will have some video content from me, and probably Mike at some point too, because he's like that. He's a social guy. He's going to do it just because he's got to test it.
Maybe I'll get shorts from CSUN. We'll see.
Aha! See, there's a thing, right? And Mike also has metas, so there's another way just to generate some content. But we will probably be posting some things here and there to the YouTube channel besides just the show, and short clip cutouts of the show, which are helpful for engagement. So that is our social media marketing update for right now.
And speaking of social media, I'm going to send a message to you, and I want to get your reaction. So you should get that message in a moment. And if you, listener, want to know what it is, look up what I reposted on my Mastodon. Damashe will give you the information shortly on the evening of February 12th. Go look at my Mastodon. Just say. So
that is off.
So with that, we're gonna wrap it up.
All right, you can follow us on social on Mastodon. He's Payon, Payown at dragonscave.space. I am Damashe, Damashe at technically.social. You can follow the bot, which you really should do. It's TW at technically.social. You can use the hashtag technically working on Mastodon. We appreciate it if you capitalize the T and the W. I'm going to keep saying this like every week that I remember to say it because it annoys me. But you cannot use that hashtag on threads, even though they're supposed to be federating, because they seem to have partly halted their federation. That's not a cheap shot at anybody that uses threads. That is a direct shot at threads. Right. Because you should do a thing when you say you're going to do the thing. Maybe they'll get there. Yeah, I know. Feedback at technicallyworking.show is where you can tell me, well, you said you were going to build a website and it was going to be up by such and such a date. So yeah, you can say that to me too. But at least I'm going to take it and tell you that, hey, I haven't done it yet, but I'm working on it. Unlike Threads, who's just like, that meta, verse thing. No, that's not what it is. Metaverse is the other thing that they gave up on. At least they told you they quit that.
Yeah, at least they told you.
They're like, oh, what Fediverse? We don't know anything about that. But yeah, feedback at technicallyworking.show is where you can email us. That is where Christopher emailed us to tell us that he gave us a tip and that we could shout him out. So appreciate you, Christopher. Thanks to all of our tip jar subscribers as well. And we want to thank everybody that listens, because as I said earlier in the show, like, the most important thing that you can do is to keep listening. I would say the next most important thing you could do is provide us feedback. Let us know what you like, what you don't like, if the show works for you, if the show doesn't work for you. If you think we suck and we shouldn't even have a show, because we got one of those too.
Yep.
Only one though, so hey,
that's pretty good out of the over 29,500 listens. Just saying.
Yeah, and I would say the actual direct feedback of people who actually say, "Hey, we got to remember to check the the podcast feedback thing too."
I will say, you know what? I'm going to go change that right now to send that information to the feedback email. That way,
excellent. That way we won't forget to do it.
Yep.
All right, good deal. And tell a friend, like I said, whether you enjoy the show or you're one of our people who reached out to us to say, hey, like, I check in on your show every so often. It still feels a little this way to me or that way to me, or the content isn't for me. Again, I appreciate that feedback because I feel it's constructive. Some things may change as a result of your feedback. Some things will not. However, if you're one of those people and you think there are other people that may like the show, let them know. As I said, you can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Spotify. You can find us on whatever podcast app may be available to you now, since Google got out of the podcast app game on Android. And we're everywhere on the Apple podcast apps that you can, subscribe to, or a desktop app if you happen to use a podcast desktop app. Basically, we're everywhere you can be except for Netflix. And if you would like to listen to us on Netflix, or if you listen to podcasts on Netflix, like Mike said, let us know. And if you want us to be in Netflix, I don't think we're going to make Netflix, Mike, because also I think they're only doing video. So we're not doing that. We need a lot more tip jar subscribers before we can, pay the bill for the stuff we will have to pay for to do a stream properly. And plus, I need more background stuff, and Mike needs background stuff if we're going to do video. So we'll probably just keep it old school and keep doing audio podcasts. So no Netflix for us, but we appreciate everybody for listening. This has been episode number
150.
Wow, that's a number. We never made it that far with the last show.
No, we're 50 we're almost a whole year past the previous. Well, we can't really say that actually, because
no, we still got some time to catch up with the.
But 150 weeks consistently. That's almost like my Todoist streak. Just saying.
Man,
84 days.
I don't know what mine is right now. I'm going to have to look. I don't think I've broken it, managed to break it here recently since I broke it that last time. It's really annoying about that too, because you finish, like you did the thing and you just forgot to check it off. Like that's the habit. But I also have been in the habit of putting stuff on my list and not actually giving it a date. So there's no reminder. And maybe I should figure out start doing the reminders at least so I don't forget about the thing that I'm going to do. I don't know. We're going to figure it out. I am working on, I started Claude on the MacBook Air to working on me a script that I can trigger with a shortcut from the iPhone. So to just, give up. We're not trying to make the shortcut do anything except send this input text or audio to the endpoint. And if it's audio, have it go here so it can be transcribed. If it's text, just send it straight to Claude. Process it, figure out what it is, and make me an action item list, and then add it to the Todoist. Add it to Todoist using the Todoist API.
An episode becomes published. There we go. All right, you're going to get all the alerts. Man, his alert system's pretty damn powerful now. I did not know you could do all this.
Shout out to Matt Podcast.
Send notifications to a webhook URL. You can send notifications to Discord. I have email set up now, so you'll get emails when we hit 50 downloads. You'll get an email when we get a new tip jar subscriber or a new tip. So, assuming this all works, we'll see. Because I get some of these emails, but we'll see if they get anyways.
Yeah, I saw that webhook thing and I never went back to it because I was like, I should set up a pushover notification so every time we get a tip jar subscriber. And I was like, wait, actually what I should do is set up a thing so when we get a tip jar subscriber, they automatically get a thank you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have an email set up anywhere for us except for the thing, and I don't know how to make that happen with that email account. So then I forgot about it.
All right. I will wrap this recording up and then we can talk about
control Apple Watch. You can control the S360 thing with the